I have a little vested interest. The Lakers play the T-Wolves. I keep bragging on the show. First of all, you know that I picked John Rahm to win the Masters. So
I did see
you're talking to somebody who's red
Plus
hot right now.
850.
Yes. I got the Lakers at 40-1 in February to win the NBA title. Now it's something like 15-1. It's insane. Everyone's on the Lakers. I feel pretty good. And not because I'm so convinced that the Lakers are peaking. I think they're playing really well. I think they've won 8 of the last 9.
You feel pretty good that you didn't just throw your money away on that bet? Or
No, I think I did throw my money away, but it's the kind of long shot that is interesting to me because the Lakers are playing well. They've added all these defensive players. Anthony Davis looks great. LeBron looks amazing quietly. I know they're injury prone, but who scares you in the NBA's Western Conference right now? There is so much parity. I know about all the stars in Phoenix. I know about Golden State. I think it's a very hard tournament to predict on the Western Conference side. The East seems kind of easy. I think you and I agree it's Boston, Milwaukee. But the West, why not the Lakers, Keith?
Why not? I mean, we're all going off of LeBron's pedigree and his history and him still being the wash king. What you said was no one scares you, right? Even the 1 seed. Yeah. That's not a scary 1 seed. We don't expect
Denver Nuggets? No.
We don't expect them to run through the playoffs and get to the finals. We were talking earlier. I don't think anybody has come out to say this is the Nuggets year. Yes, the Warriors figured out how to get to the 6th seed, and the Warriors have come out of the West how many times in the last decade, won it all, but they're a little bit older, and they're facing a Kings team that hasn't been in the playoffs for 16 years. Maybe those young guys are too naive to know how big the moment is facing the 4-time champions. And, yeah, KD joins the Suns and Devin Booker, and in theory that's supposed to work, but we've seen a lot of things in theory with Kevin Durant's team not work out.
Oh, anything specific you're thinking about?
Yeah, like
maybe a couple inches short?
Just like this much on the line. I was at Game 7, and I ran out of there and cried and never returned. Just kidding. I came back. But, yeah, with the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets, Big Three, was supposed to win it a couple years back. And even, the year where the Raptors won it, KD gets hurt. So a lot of things have to go right in the playoffs. There's always injuries. There's always upsets. There's always a couple guys that don't play up to their potential. And like you're saying, in the West, none of these teams really stand out. The Clippers are weakened without having Paul George. Who are you afraid of? Ja Morant and the Grizzlies, they don't have Steven Adams. And I think that's why the LeBron hype train with all of his respect and fans is really going right now.
And they don't have Brandon Clark in Memphis. I like the Lakers against the Grizzlies. I think if that's the matchup that happens, that helps. If you're the NBA, let's say they have a little say in this. Who do they want to see in the Western Conference Finals? I mean, there's so many stars. You go ahead, but I think it's the older guys. I think they want the Warriors, the Suns, and the Lakers.
Yeah, I think there's a part of the NBA that manufactures all of this. Some way or another, they get who they want there, whether it's, getting Steph another run, right? This Warriors dynasty won last time. I think this is pretty much their last go at it. We expect them to advance and be there. KD, Booker, CP3, those guys we expect to be there. Nikola Jokic, all the talk about a third MVP. There should be more talk about getting to an actual finals.
Yeah.
And I was talking to you about how I feel like Giannis is an international darling, right? He's got the Greek fans. He's got the overseas presence. Well, Nikola Jokic has that as well. The NBA views himself as a global game, right? They would love to see Nikola Jokic advance through a couple rounds. Ja Morant obviously brought some bad publicity onto the NBA, but that's all swept under the rug and forgotten just in time for the play-in. I think, honestly, though, they'd like to see Steph, they'd like to see LeBron, KD, and Jokic, be there in the second round, third round. Well, all of them can't be in the third round, but they'd like to see those guys advance.
Would you agree, though, that the one person they want to see advance the most would be LeBron? I mean, he's 38. We're not going to get a lot more cracks at this. As a neutral fan in the West, I'm a Sixers fan in the East. I want to see LeBron. I want to see what he can do. I want to see him at the highest level again. I think it'd be one of the incredible sports stories of all time. If he could win a title at 38, I guess it's similar to Tom Brady in his 40s winning a Super Bowl. It's probably even better, though, because in basketball, you have to be completely athletic. Tom Brady's a quarterback. You can win in your 40s, but LeBron to do it at 38, can you think of anything that would match that? Jordan did not do it that late in his career.
No. And I honestly don't expect LeBron to make a run here, but the hype around LeBron, he's the biggest name in the sport, the most followers. Obviously, this season was about him breaking Kareem's record. And then other than that, it was like he didn't play. He missed a lot of time. So now you want to see him play in the biggest moments. And like you're saying, I think he's 38 going on 39. How many more years does he have left? I wouldn't doubt that he would play like another 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
But like this year is paramount. And he's talked about, these last X amount of games are the most important games of my career. Then he got hurt. But also, they blew up this team at the trade deadline to try and make their chances better around LeBron. And then the Lakers nation, the Lakers fan base is so massive, right? You want them in it because as the NBA, they power the machine. And for LeBron to be healthy right now, be potentially in that 2-7 matchup against a young Grizzlies team, that's what people want to see. They think potentially LeBron's experience and his pedigree can, get the Lakers through. Let's see it. I think they're going to come up short, but that's why we watch.
Well, if the NBA was going to sort of push certain teams there, how do they do it, in your opinion? Because I think you really believe this.
I really do. Just from years of watching the NBA and having my soul crushed. Obviously, I start with the officiating, and I was giving you the example of Giannis and the Bucks. Never saw a guy get to shoot free throws for 13, 14 seconds. They literally rewrote the the rule books for this guy. It's 10 seconds, and you don't even need 10 seconds. He was allowed 13 seconds. They officiate the game differently for him. He's very physical, and then that extends to the rest of his team. The Bucks are allowed to play a very physical brand of basketball. But we'll see how these refs are. I think this was a bad year for refs. We had a lot of players calling out refs. We had a lot of clear mistakes. I mean, speaking of LeBron threw the biggest tantrum of the season on his hands and knees after that slap against Boston in the no call. So I think the officiating plays a big part in it, and we'll see.
But if they did do this, if they did push certain teams, why push Milwaukee? I know Giannis is an international superstar, but Milwaukee's not a huge market.
Yeah.
And honestly, I love Giannis, but I don't find the Bucks that entertaining to watch.
They're not that fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. They're Spurs like it.
His game in itself, I don't enjoy watching. But when I say he's an international darling, the global game, he was a 2-time MVP that never got there. And that's what the narrative is around these MVPs, right? Nikola Jokic, 2-time MVP, hasn't gotten there. Well, that year that Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden were together, I looked at it as the NBA universe was not ready for the big three, right?
Right.
But the homegrown player, Giannis, who had his own big three, like they did go get Drew Holiday. But, the story behind Giannis being drafted by the team and staying with this team and fighting through and earning MVPs and finally getting to the top of the mountain, they didn't care if it was Suns, Bucks. That was the storyline that year that they pushed. You know what the difference here is? I was beat down by the process in Philadelphia for years. I mean, you're still in it. Well, I think this is why I'm basically still in it. I'm used to losing and being disappointed. I think you are rationalizing why your Nets are not going all the way. Sure. And by the way, Pete in the chat asked if you could get him an XL Mikal Bridges jersey. Now, I'm not sure why he can't go on NBA.com store and do it himself. You need it from the Nets team store? Yeah, I don't know why. Can you do this? Are you known to have the power to get jerseys out there? You could direct them to the link, right? I have bought jerseys from the arena, but I've only done that when they've sold out online. Are they sold out online? I know it took them a while to put up the Bridges jerseys. I know for a while we were saying, hey, what am I going to do with this KD jersey, this Kyrie jersey? Can you put the Bridges jerseys up? When they did put them up in the store, they sold out the first game. I guess as I'm looking now, they're kind of scarce. You got to personalize the uniform. Unless you want to get Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons jerseys are available for order online. Oh, you're kidding me. They have some of those left. There's a ton. I'm sure there's a surplus of number 10 Brooklyn Nets jerseys. And the Nets always have 3 or 4 different jerseys. You can get Ben Simmons in every colorway, every city edition style, home, away.